You gotta set another one. Those spinnaker sails were, it's a big balloon that's way out in front of the boat, usually all very colorful.
Yeah.
Those are all spinnakers.
So
Very
how do
light
you,
cloth. It's nylon and they're made out of half pound, half ounce, half ounce of material up to 1.5 ounce, depending on the wind strength.
so they would just rip open?
They not only rip open, they sound like a cannon going off. All you'd have was strings left over.
Oh. Leave your debris in the water, huh?
$1,500 to $2,000 each. All you got strings left. We were going along pretty good, and I was steering. I said, "Hey, we better." It started to blow hard, and we had this small light spinnaker up, going like gangbusters. I said, "You better get out of the bunk, and you better take down that spinnaker." What? They should have said what, because as soon as that happened,
Oh.
this spinnaker blew out. All he had was strings. But you assume that when you go on that race, you're going to blow out a spinnaker to $1,500, $3,000, something like that. Whatever.
So do you gradually come to a slow, or does it, your momentum just keeps you going till you get the other one up, or you just come to a dead?
No, you have the other sails up,
Oh.
but you're still sailing.
Nobody gets whiplash, huh? It's like a tire blowing.
Oh man, it makes a big noise. You better take the spinnaker down. Well, it's too late. If you say that, it's too late. You should have done it before it was said. Skate and pull it apart. The old, what do you call them? National Hardware skates. Steel wheels. Pull it apart and put it on the end of the 2x4, about three feet long. Nail it on good and solid, hopefully. And then we'd put a wooden box, which they had plenty in those days. They didn't have paper boxes to speak of. Nail that on the 2x4 and then put a piece of wood across the top of it for the handles. And then work it like a scooter.
Huh.
Then on the front, you could nail a can with a candle in it and use it at night. If your mother would let you out. You work it like a scooter, and the box resonated because from the steel wheels and the sidewalk, made a good noise.
A little hard ride there, wouldn't it be?
Oh yeah.
On cobblestone or cement?
Oh no, cement.
You'd never get anywhere.
Cement sidewalk. They wouldn't work in the street because that was tar.
Ugh.
Tar and gravel, or tar.
So what kept the candle from going out?
Nothing.
Good to know. You kept the side open or something?
Well, no. It lasted a while, then you just bring matches with you and relight it again. I think he was around 12 years old, and this great big German Shepherd jumped over the fence next door into the lot, and he was going to really tear a poor old Tough apart. And I got down in a football stance and stared him right in the eye. And he was, I psyched him out. He made a quick left turn and went over there and peed someplace. But he had blood in his eye for a moment. I was going to take him on. We went to this posh restaurant that lived down the canal from us by boat. And I told old Tough, now you stay on the boat. Okay, I'll stay on the boat. Baloney. So we went up, and it's an open patio, and then they had an inside also. We sat out in the patio, and old Tough decided, I'm not going to sit here all this time while I eat. So he jumps off the boat, comes up the gangway, comes into the patio where we're having dinner. That's a no-no, in the restaurant business. So I said, okay, you can come up here, but get under the table where they won't see you. So he was down under the table. And the people around us were all giving him their T-bone steak bones to
Oh.
chomp on, so he was living. He didn't get chased out. We didn't take my boat.
Oh.
My boat has been to Mexico, of course. Acapulco. No, Mazatlan race. Down that far. And then it's been to Honolulu 10 times on the race. And let's see, up the coast, we didn't do much going up the coast. Because nobody wanted to race up the coast, so it wasn't feasible. But we did race around the Farallon Islands, which is a sort of a rugged race for a day race. Guys have to go to work Monday morning and they're all pooped out. They're tired. Wet and cold, miserable. College, she was living with 3 other girls, 2 other girls and her sister. Of course, we knew one of the guys knew one of the girls, so we called on him, and here was the twins, Lois and Lucille and Betty Jones, and what was the other girl's name? I forget. So we started dating from that time on. So that was in college.
How old were you?
I was racing cars then, so I had to be over 21. And going to school, making 8 o'clock class.
Yikes.
After racing in Fresno.
And racing home.
Yeah, racing home.
Where'd you go to school?
Hmm?
Where did you go to college?
UC Berkeley. It seemed like the busier I was, the better grades I had. Finally got to be a losing proposition. I figured the heck with this. I was making more money racing than most people were making in their profession.
So you did a calculated dropout?
Yeah,
It wasn't a forced.
it was a calculated dropout.
Grandma graduated though, didn't she?
Hmm?
Grandma graduated.
Oh yeah, she graduated. Sure, she got a diploma on her in the bedroom. Household art.
Hmm?
Household art.
Oh.
She graduated in.
I don't know if they've had that major now.
I doubt it. Sort of dumb. Yeah.
It's yeah. It's Berkeley's more of a engineering, math, science.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, right.
Geology. Over there. We had this tower. I don't know what the tower is for, but there's a tower. It must have been 8 to 10 stories high. And the tourists all went there, including the Chinese tourists. And they wound around and got up to the top. And as soon as you get up to the very top, you can look down, wave at Grandma. And I started to come back down again. And I went down this staircase, and up another staircase, and got back to the same place I was when I started. This can't be. So I tried it again, and it took me 3 times to get down out of the first floor, because it was a sort of a Chinese puzzle type of thing. It was sure weird. I said, come on now, let's get serious. You can't be doing this all day. You couldn't follow anybody else because they were doing the same thing. I don't know what happened. Finally I took a turn or something and got down out of there. The Chinese are famous for those kind of things.
Didn't you and Grandma climb the Great Wall?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We got up on the Great Wall. It was blowing like crazy. It was cold. and we weren't really prepared for cold weather. So on one side of the wall was China, I mean the China we knew, and with lawns and farms and whatnot, something like this, only not quite as nice. On the other side of the wall, nothing, just like a desert, just like, well, some of the area you got up here, nothing. And down below there was a small door, and they built the wall to keep the Mongols out of China because they were always going down there and stealing the prettiest girls and raising Cain. So they wanted to keep them out. Except they put a door down there. This is one little old door. one of the forays that they made, the door was left open. All the Mongols came in and did their thing, then went home. But the Chinese wall was very fascinating. Every now and then they would have a sort of a guard station, I guess you'd call it. You've seen pictures of the Chinese wall where every so often there's a sort of a square station. And they had it designed so that only one man on a horse could come through at a time. So that if he tried to put a whole flock of people on the Chinese wall and have them run rampant down the Chinese wall, that they had to go through this one door, through this sort of a blockhouse, whatever you call it, and they couldn't do it. They get themselves killed. So that worked out pretty well. But it went on and on, up hills and down dales. You wouldn't believe it until you saw it. China, of course, Thailand. Japan. Japan is a very clean place. Of course, they have Japanese gardens all over the place. That was interesting. Let's see. Thailand, what did we do in Thailand? I forget now. Oh, we met the Father Caligari, Catholic priest. I guess he did something wrong, and so they sent him there. He was in San Francisco the last time we seen him. Next thing you know, he's in the outlying China area. He's a good guy. He didn't wear his, what do you call it, a habit, whatever they wear, coat.
Oh.
He got it all dressed up in a suit and a tie. He went out on the town. That was neat. Went by Snake Alley. I told you about that already.
What about, you drank snake blood or something? What was that story?
Well, Snake Alley, they had all these darn snakes. It's sort of a exhibition thing, like a concessions area. So we stopped to watch the fun. This guy, I guess you paid money, and then he took the snake and hung him up by his head, slit him open, and all the blood would run down in a cup, and then you pay money and you drink that. And what they also did, which nobody realized it, they also put 200 proof alcohol in it. So when you drank it, you got darn little blood, lots of 200 proof alcohol. So when they got through, they figured, gee, I'm cured. But they didn't know that you're going to have a hangover the next day.
Did Grandma drink it too?
No, she didn't drink it. So the old Father Caligari, he was a character. So I can't eat all of that. I'll eat a couple.
Don't eat some. Just what you can. Your bag's up.
Get your nose out of my food.
Spelled with an A.
In Greece?
In Greece. In Athens. On top of a hill. Very famous place in mythology. If you take Latin, you always run into the Acropolis.
pretty well run down. I let it run down, I guess. I don't know why. We went to another spot. We took a ride outside of Greece by truck. I mean by bus. And we got to this one spot, and they had an amphitheater. And anywhere you could stand on the stage, it had a very large stage because they had these super duper productions. You could whisper, talking a normal voice like I'm talking now, and you could hear it all the way around the seats. There wasn't any place you couldn't hear it. It was real weird. We tried it. Lois went on the stage, talked her normal voice, and I must have been maybe 200 feet away, and I could hear every word she said. Quite something. We went to this encampment, I guess you'd call it, near the Mediterranean. That's the western end of the Africa, where the Greek or the Roman soldiers went for R&R, recover from their wars and whatnot. And that was very interesting. They had bunks and these baths that they had. Great. Sort of bunks where you go in there and lie down. They were outside. Fountains. And this goes back years ago, many years ago. Running water. How they did that, I don't know.
Or Russia was in.
My brother got him. He was in the service in Chicago. And how he ever got a hold of this wire-haired, he was, had a pedigree and so on, which doesn't mean a thing when a dog's gonna bite you. So anyway, he bit a lot of people. So he had to spirit them out of town. Like the Clanton gang or something. So he sent him to me. He continued his career of fighting with various people. And he bit the lady next door on the butt, which is good. I like that. And he went on with his career. And he wouldn't care if he got run over. He had tire marks right across here.
Oh.
I took him to the vet. He was all right. I don't know how he survived that.
Gee.
Yeah, he had a lot of fun biting people. He liked 7-Up highballs.
Was that a cause for his behavior?
Sure.
He's an alcoholic, Wagner Terrier.
Ugly little mutt. Sickly. Had allergies. Bad allergies, yeah. But I got along. I survived. Went to kindergarten, flunked kindergarten.
How's that possible?
I don't know. I slept all the time.
The teachers decided I better go home and sleep. And I had an ear problem all my life too. That was a son of a gun. Ear infection started, and of course got into mastoid, which they had to chop out at a later, very late date in the game.
Did you get headaches?
Huh?
Did you have headaches from it, or
No,
just?
they're just a messy situation. I guess I did have headaches, earaches too. So I never gained any weight until they finally, after many years, Grandma didn't believe in having. She was afraid that I wouldn't survive if I had this operation on my ear, so she never would let the doctors do it. I think that was sort of a mistake, really. Of course, they didn't have antibiotics in those days. You could die from that operation, any operation. So I weighed all of 124 and a half pounds up till I was, what, toward the end of college.
Do you remember anything about your wedding?
Oh yeah, we had a lot of fun at the wedding. I decided we better get married. If you want to put it that way. So Norm says, well, come back here. I'll get you married back here. So we hopped the train. We went back there and set up camp there. My brother was sleeping with me, and Lois was sleeping with his wife, and he got sick and tired of that. So he says, I'm going to get you guys married. So he went to, he was a, let's see, he was a colonel, I think. No, he was a major, I think, back in Chicago. What's that big base back there? I forget the name of it.
I wouldn't know.
So he used the facilities of the Navy to get married. He had a Navy chaplain. My brother got all these witnesses that were his friends, and had this great big dinner afterwards. It wasn't a big dinner; it was a good dinner. I guess we had about maybe 12 people at the table. That's all we had really. It was wartime. It was 1942. So we got married. We came home. Didn't cost me anything. I don't think it cost my brother anything either, because he used all the facilities as a base. I think he paid the chaplain, that's about all.
Weddings are pretty costly these days.
Yeah, 1942.
You and Grandma were married a long time.
Oh yeah, 58 years.
Yeah.
I don't know how she ever put up with me. Various things I did.
You wouldn't want to go into those now, would you?
He had a, I guess it was a half acre lot, swimming pool. He had a horse, but then the horse wasn't supposed to be there. Supposed to be in a stable somewhere, but he'd bring him in the backyard. They'd be eating dinner, and the horse would stick his head into the kitchen window and watch him eat. He's more of a pet than it was a horse.
Is that your brother?
Yeah.
Like Green Acres. What was the name of that pig?
Luckily, he didn't fall in the swimming pool. I think the neighbors complained mildly. They said, "Can't you put that horse somewhere else?"
Well, on half acre, it'd be pretty smelly.
Yeah. Half of it was taken up by the house, the other half to the swimming pool. It doesn't leave much. A horse.
And horseback riding?
Yeah. I tried a few times. I don't trust them. I figure they're going to slip and fall on their face.
Right, I think as soon as I get Claire near a horse or Lauren near a horse, they're going to want one. So.
Are you? You
Keeping
gonna
it.
want a horse?
They will
Oh,
probably.
not me. Lauren or Claire, maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to start that ball rolling.
You may not have a choice. All her friends get a horse.
Oh, they have horses. They do. But I don't.
It's expensive.
Yeah, I don't think we. If you had a stable and you had to keep your horse there, you wouldn't have the duties that you'd have if it was on your own property.
Yeah,
You
well,
wouldn't have the connection
right.
and responsibility of it, and it would just be a toy. So, we don't have the setup for that.
Somebody's got to feed him.